Hello and welcome back to a brand new vlog. My name is Orion and I make videos every single Wednesday and Sunday and I post them at 6 p.m. And it is another beautiful morning at my nan's. However, I am not particularly looking forward to today's garage conversion because in the last vlog I made a rather large mistake. And today I intend to fix it. If you didn't see the last vlog, we basically started putting battens on the wall and adding DPM to stop any damp from coming through. And unfortunately, as I was rushing things, trying to get it done, I didn't quite consider the spacing of my battens correctly. So instead of them being at every 600 or 400 centers, they're a bit all over the place. And the reason that that is an issue is because if I was to lay a piece of plasterboard sheet here, it would come up to here, which means that when two pieces of plasterboard meet, there's nothing to actually screw into. So I have a few options. I can either take the wall apart and then move all of the timber across to the right measurements. Alternatively, I could add more timber to the wall, creating more uprights, and then there's just going to be a lot of timber against the wall, which means cutting a crap ton of insulation. And then finally, the other option I have is potentially be rather wasteful with my plasterboard and just cut more sheets of plasterboard. And I'm thinking, just because of each of these things I do is going to be wasteful in some way or another, which means it's going to cost me money. I'm pretty sure the cheapest thing to do is to actually add more timber to the wall, so I might do that. However, I think I'm willing to take a bit of a risk. And instead of like adding it up right there, like it's just so much wood that I'm going to gamble on my my plasterboard and hope that I've got enough to cover and just cut a lot. Because the thing is the plasterboard's not going to reach all the way up to the ceiling anyway. It's going to have a gap at the top, so I'm going to have to do strips along the top or across the bottom, whichever way you look at it. So we're going to do that. Honestly, I don't really have the time to kind of mess around cutting more wood or taking this apart. It's just, I need to get this stuff done because, you know, I've got a baby on the way and I've got lots of other stuff that I need to get on with in preparation for that. And this storage room needs to be sorted ASAP. So I think I'm going to crack on with doing the other two walls today. And then worst case scenario is that I can order the plasterboard that I might need, and I've got time to wait because I can only work on this at the weekends anyway. So I can order it ahead of time, and then it's ready for when it comes to doing plasterboarding. So with that in mind, I'm going to crack on with this wall. However, I might run into another issue with this wall in the sense that the ceiling actually slopes down ever slightly at this end, and if I tried to build it on the floor and raise it up, when I put this wall up behind me, I was running out of space to screw things on the floor. And obviously now that I put a wall up, the room's smaller, ever so slightly, but it makes a difference between being able to get a drill to the end of the CLS. So problems, but you know, this is what happens when you do things DIY. I really wish I'd taken the time to properly plan and blueprint this room out, so when it came to doing it, I wouldn't have to worry. But like I said, I'm slim on time and I've been so busy recently that I haven't had the time to do that. So we're going to wing it and see how it goes. First thing we need to do is build our base plate and our top plate. And then I am going to have to kind of build my uprights at a slight slant because, as you notice with this first upright here, there is a gap at the top. However, if I take the same upright to the other end of the room and try and put it in there, it wedges because the room slopes down. Granted, it's not by much at all, but in order to get the room to fit properly, I might either have to build the whole wall a little bit lower than the ceiling, which is fine because I can always push the plasterboard up to where the ceiling meets anyway, or I can use some packers. Don't know, we'll see. I actually think in an effort to keep my wall level and easier to build on the floor without it slanting down and stuff like that, I'm just going to make the wall ever so slightly smaller on this end so it goes upright, and then it'll be a little bit larger down there, but I can always pack it out. So with that in mind, let's get all of our uprights cut down to size. Now it is for the moment of truth. I'm going to lay this all out on the floor and see if I've got enough building room to put it together. I'm really hoping we do. So that is how much space I have between where I need to put a screw in and the wall. It's tight, but we can make it work. I really think I should have invested in getting some aircon in here because it is so warm. But I have finally put the wall together. I just need to lift it up and hope it fits. I am feeling somewhat confident about this, but I don't know. You never know until you try. So, right, let's lift this thing up. And I need to go further into the wall. God, trying to do this on your own is not smart. Right. Please fit. Ah! That is a satisfying noise because it means it fits perfectly. As I said before, it does slope a little bit, so there's a gap at the top there, but it fits flush there. So even though I cut the whole thing a bit shorter, it slots in nicely. Whilst I have it upright, I think I'm going to do all of the noggins, and we should be good to put some DPM on it. What I actually did with this wall and that wall is take a level, so I would get the measurement from one side, put a level on it, and then I could screw the other side. So I know that the noggins are perfectly level. So what I'm going to do is pull the wall out a little bit. Because it is kind of wedged at the top there, I can actually rotate it and not worry about it falling over, and start putting in noggins using my level as I go along to make sure they're all right. It might not be the right way of doing it, but it works for me. Right, with all of the noggins in, I now need to lay the wall back on the floor so we can apply the DPM to it and the damp-proof course at the bottom as well. This bit is not, it's easy, but it's just not fun because you're squirming around in this really small space and it gets so hot, dude. Let's get on with it. I talked through how we did this in the last vlog, so if you haven't seen that, make sure you go watch it. But I think to speed this up, I'm gonna run a time lapse. Surprisingly smoothly. We have now got another wall done. We are very, very close to completion. There is just one wall left to do. And I think for this wall, because I've got to accommodate the door frame, is I'm gonna build it up to the door frame here to the wall, slot that into place, then kind of work around the other side because it is a little bit more awkward to do. But otherwise, I think it'll actually be all right. I have left enough room in the corner there to actually slot the battens into, and I've got plenty of workspace now to create the wall and just prop it up into place. And I'm only going as high as the steel beam, and then I'm going to kind of build around that as well. It's definitely going to be a bit more fiddly, and I actually only have 10 pieces of CLS left, so I'm hoping I've got enough to finish this off. If not, then we might have to put it on hold for now. But let's see how far we get. Safe to say I have got way more room this time to build the wall. However, before I actually put this up and into place, I need to move all of that into here, because once I build this wall, I won't be able to bring it in. So we're going to remove this and slide it all forwards. Man, it's nice to reclaim some space that I've been using and finally get it into the garage. I'm not actually too worried about the plasterboard because from the angles I can get it through the door, so I'll leave that there for now. With the new wall basically built and ready to go, I just need to stick the DPM on it and then plot it into place. Right, hopefully, lots of dust, this will go in. You see where I'm going, but that should slot into that corner. He says. That, and then keep it into place. It's a tight squeeze, but that is a good thing. Nice. Jess thinks that we'll be able to unravel that up to the ceiling, and then we've got DPM that goes all the way up. I don't know how I'm going to continue around and do this kind of upside down L shape though. I'll have to figure that one out. But next up, now that we have got the final wall up, is I need to put some noggins all the way across the top there. So when I break the plasterboard all the way up, I've got something to screw into. To be honest, I think I only actually need like 6 of them to go up there. And then finally, I'm going to put a couple of uprights in the ends because I've only got 2 long pieces of timber left. Then I'm gonna have to come back and finish the door frame later on. If I get all my cuts right, they should squeeze into place like so. Now that we've got that done, I just need to fold this up and staple it in. What a difference that makes. Now for the fiddly bit. I think what I'm gonna do is have a base plate there, 2 uprights that go to the steel beam, and then a top plate that goes all the way across to there. I intentionally cut this other top beam right to the halfway point there so I could slot another one in. And that should work a treat. How I'm gonna DPM that, I have no idea. We have decided to overhang it a little bit and all the way up to the top because I need it to wrap around and go up to that. And I also need it to wrap upwards to the ceiling there. So I've got it like this. I'm hoping it goes up all right. My expectations aren't super high, I'll be honest with you, but hopefully this will fit. Now I know I have measured this pretty much spot on, so I'm probably gonna have to hit it with a hammer to get it into place. But that should slot into there. This is so ambitious. Right, hammer. Please don't fall on me. Right, let's get it in down here first. Oh, please go in. Use a bigger hammer. Well, all it took was a much bigger hammer. At least it is finally in. I just need to do the noggins up top, staple that in, and we are good. Why I decided to do this when it is literally like fucking 26 degrees outside or something like that, I have no idea. I know I'm inside, but it's so hot in this room you would not believe. However, we have finished. I have done all of the walls. Sorry, I shouldn't spin it. It's horrible to watch, but I've done it. Needless to say, there is some tidy up work that I need to do because I need to finish off the door frame, but I'm going to have to get some more wood before I can do that. But there are noggins all the way behind that DPM, English. I am on my last legs, as you can probably tell, but there's just little bits and pieces left to do now, which I might just do in between vlogs, just tidy the place up and get it ready for the next stage, which is going to probably be a combination of insulation and electrics, because now that we have got the framework up, oh no, I need to square the room up. I've not done that yet. So none of the walls are actually pinned to anything. They're just kind of propped up against the ceiling. So I need to bolt it to the floor, get it all squared up. Then I need to run the cables that I've kind of fed through from outside and decide where I want sockets and stuff and light switches going in this room. So we're gonna have to do all the wiring for it, and then we can insulate it. I actually thought we were quite close to being done with this room, but evidently not, because after I do all of that, I then need to plasterboard the room, seal it, paint it, and then we'll be done. However, it is nice to finally get the woodwork up, because this was such a strenuous part to do. Lots of cutting and measurements to be taken, whereas the rest of it is fairly simple. From the outside now, though, this is what we're left with. You can obviously not see through anymore just because the door frame and because the DPM is up. What I'm going to actually do with this outside work, I've just not decided yet. Again, I might run this all the way around just to continue the look of it, even though I'm probably not going to be able to find any wood that looks the same as that, but we'll see. All the same, I think I need to take a break before I lose my marbles. I have been pushing myself to get this stuff done, just to keep up with the vlogs and to get on top of stuff as well. So I have busted a gut. I am sweaty. I am gross. I'm covered in bruises and tiny cuts everywhere. It's not nice, but I hope you are enjoying following along with this stuff. And I want to say, seeing how easy it is to do, I keep saying, like, if I could do it, you could do it. Like, don't get me wrong. There's been points where it's been a bit difficult. Messing up this wall was a massive oversight, but at least I have made those mistakes so you can learn from them. Like I said before, I really wish I'd taken the time to properly plan this all out. So when it came to it, I had something to refer to, so I didn't have to kind of measure on the fly and do things on the go, which I probably would have had to do anyway, but all the same, it has actually come together quite nicely. Now all that's left to do is tidy up the almighty mess that I've made, but I'll save your eyes for watching me do that, because it's just me putting little bits and bobs away. However, if you have enjoyed this video, please do leave it a thumbs up rating. I'd appreciate it. It helps the channel reach new people, so those people can come by and drop a subscription to the channel. We are on the road to 25k. We have made great strides. I need to get my ass into gear and start making shorts, so keep your eyes peeled for some short form content coming soon. But as always, guys, been Orion. Thank you so much for watching. Peace, peace, much love. Bye-bye.